Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we're returning to Command Modern Operations. So we're gonna start a new game today, and I thought it would be interesting to go for Black Tiger 2. So Black Tiger is a game that or a scenario that I've played already, and this is a Persian Gulf engagement between the US and Iran. So I thought, given recent events, I thought it would be interesting to dive a little bit more into that topic. This is a fictional scenario from 2015, or playing in 2015. You can read all of the background over here, or of course on the Steam page. For this, we're just going to load it up and just remind ourselves what has happened. In the morning, we have engaged some mix over the Persian Gulf. So let's enter the scenario and look at our assets and all of that. We're going to begin the scenario here. Wait a second until everything is loaded up, and I would like on the view thing to go away with the sentinel map so that the game can load the correct loadout over here, and we can have a look at our stuff. So basically the scenario here is that the Marines are disengaging from Iraq, so they are coming out from this area down here, Basra and Kuwait, as this is loading up. Did I just undo the wrong thing here? No, I would like to disengage that. Yeah, there. Right. So from Basra and Kuwait, these Marines are driving through the Persian Gulf, which of course brings them much closer to Iran. Iran in this scenario is being supplied by a very modern Russian equipment, so we're gonna have to see how much they can be using in that regard. And I also should make sure that we have disabled this sound, and indeed we have. Because, unfortunately, with Command, you just cannot do that in any meaningful way. So, we have Iran here. They are considered not actively hostile, just so they are no enemies. They've got apparently a couple of phantoms over here. We did engage some mix in the earlier scenario, and we did also just strike their air bases by a very significant margin, but that hasn't carried over. So, let's look at our assets. We've got the Marines over here in this surface group, which is composed of 6 ships, mostly destroyers, a couple of early Booker classes, a couple of landing crafts there as well, a large number of aircraft, a couple of Harriers over here with an anti-tank loadout, a couple of helicopters, so these are just attack helicopters as you can see over there. Harriers are of course a very famous aircraft, so I don't think I have to say anything about them. A couple of Ospreys that are interesting as well, a couple of UAs, a couple of Nighthawks. You guys are all in an anti-ground layout, which I don't think we can change most of them. Although with the Seahawk, I think, and I of course had a look at that before I started, I think what we can do is ready you guys here, indeed, with an anti-submarine loadout. So instead of the current maritime surveillance, I think I would very much like these guys here to be in a slightly better loadout against submarines. So let's ready them. They're going to be ready in 4 days. Oh, and in 4 hours, but we only have 1 hour to go over here, so maybe that was a little bit pointless. Right, we also got this surface group over here, which is sort of giving cover to these gentlemen. And that is including a large number of aircraft, a couple of Nighthawks, but most importantly a couple of Super Hornets and Hornets. So we've got the F-18C Hornets over here. Mostly it looks with an anti-ground layout with a couple of Harpoons, Mavericks, HARMs, so anti-radiation missiles, Harpoons, so these are anti-ship missiles. Basically stuff like that, and a couple of 3-4 bombs. We also got the F-18 Super Hornets over here with the AMRAAM loadout, so these are anti-air units, which I think is going to be fine. And we've also got another Super Hornet with a sort of a mixed layout over here, including tankers, interestingly enough, and a couple of Hawkeyes. And you know what, I think we're going to immediately launch one of these Hawkeyes over here so that we have a little bit of a better layout over the ground. Growlers? No, these are... Yeah, these should be anti-radiation missiles, shouldn't they? Yeah, and they are. Okay, fine. That's good to see. Unfortunately, even over here, I don't see a lot of anti-submarine loadout, except for this Barracuda, which we're also going to launch. And because it's a helicopter, it's going to launch in 30 seconds. So that's fine. In the air, we've got a couple of Super Hornets over here. with an MRAM loadout against enemy submarines. We've got a sentry down there which we can't control, and we have two groups over here also of Super Hornets. Can I actually detach you from that group? I would very much like to do that. Can I do that though? So let's go back to unit view. Let's go to detach over here. Let's go back to normal view and let's group all of you guys. Yeah, that makes more sense to me, so that we have these guys together, and I think that will simply make sure that they're over there. They are on a carrier patrol loadout, so that's nice to see. We've also got the Hawkeye over here, so maybe we should not have launched the other one. Let's make sure that it's set up as best as possible. We're going to send it to max altitude. And I think loitering speed is going to be perfectly fine for you. Let's make sure that the radar is actually on, which it seems to be, so that's fine. And with that we can start the scenario over here. So let's see what the Iranians got. They've got a couple of Phantoms over there. They've got a couple of F5s. What are you actually? From when are you? I didn't know that aircraft specifically. Seems to be a very oldish one, I guess. Not sure what it is. Right, and then we've got Su-33, so these are a little bit more modern there. As you can also see a little bit by these items over here, they can carry a lot of different loadouts. And we have a couple of Tomcats, so these are, of course, the items that the US actually sold to Iran a little bit ahead of the revolution. So these guys actually seem to be a little bit on an intercept course here with our F-18s. On our F-18s we've got 4 missiles, and we've got a couple of Tomcats coming up here. So these F-14s, I think actually Iran does not have, I think they are kind of trying to intercept us. And you know what, with that information what I'm going to do is I'm going to get over here and I'm going to have a look at these Super Hornets that we have somewhere over here. Come on. No, not the normal Hornets, the Super Hornets. And I think we are going to at least launch a group of these here as 2 aircraft. And that should hopefully give us a little bit more information about these guys there. Meanwhile, these guys over here are doing mostly patrols over their own airspace, it seems, so that's fine. Yeah, and this is basically a setup as you would sort of expect between the US and... You're going somewhere else? Interesting that you should come back, but I think that's fine. Yeah, let's bring our carriers back a little bit over here towards the other area. We've also got a couple of ships over here that I think we should be mindful about. And you know what? We can actually take stock of these guys with maybe sending out a couple of aircraft on our side. Maybe even these UEs. I think with the Hydros 70mm rockets, they might not be the worst equipped to deal with small Iranian boats, as we've also seen with the other scenario. Yeah, and this does very much seem to be some of the... Oh! One message from Special Services. Alpha Sierra Eyeball. Contact report. Multiple tracks bearing 088 degrees from Tehran group at 80. Yada yada. So what's going on here? I have absolutely no idea. Speed 8 knots. Designate. Okay. Let's jump to that location. I do very much doubt that it's over there. But I think that's 00 degrees, so that's probably just some formal stuff going on. Okay. So far though, nothing too bad happening. I think we can accelerate time here a little bit and I'm going to just keep my hand on the keyboard here to pause at any second if that is required. Right, let's actually pause. See, that doesn't work actually. Okay, so we've got this anti-submarine warfare dude over here. Let's actually go ahead and define some area. So let's go ahead and add a new mission. So let's... Come on, where's... Add reference point? No, define area. There we go. These 4 reference points are fine. Let's shift them a little bit so that they are sort of ahead of our group. which I think is going to be fine. Yeah, there we go. That's alright. Then we're going to add a new mission, which is going to be an anti-submarine. So let's call that anti-submarine warfare for our carriers. So I think that's fine. And that is of course a patrol type and anti-submarine warfare patrol. That should be okay. Fine. There we go. And we can then go ahead and select our helicopter here and assign it to a mission, and that is the mission anti-submarine war. Yeah, there we go. So it's trying to find submarines in this area. I think we can put that up a little bit, maybe like so, and that should be fine. We've also got the Hawkeye over here. We've got the helicopter over here, which I think we can and will send over here just to check these guys out. Do you have any sensors? Yeah, just this one. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I think it's alright. Good. Now, what else have we got? We've got another Hawkeye over here. So we might want to bring that up a little bit towards over this direction, just to make sure that this group here is covered as well. And we are going to try to turn on its radar to find out what's going on. Right, there we go. So that sets up, I think, very nicely what's going on over here. Oh, okay, so we've got an information over here that these guys... What on earth is that? Did you know that they had items like that? This looks so honestly a little bit funny. So what have you got? You've got a 50 cal. Curious. Okay, so that's fine. These guys are somewhat curiously set up as neutral. So let's actually take two of these guys over here and see whether they have any information about us. Right, and then this anti-submarine warfare dude is going there, that's fine. We've got our Super Hornets here. I think I would like to get them over here because I think something is going down over there, and that would be interesting to keep an eye on at the very least. And you know what? I think we can go for military speed over here on at least high altitude. Try to identify what's going on over here. Right. And you guys are engaging, aren't you? Funny to see. I mean, this is basically... Oh, can we actually switch off the surface weapons and just go for the anti-air weapons? Yeah, I think that's fine. Right. Okay, guys. Can I unassign you for a moment here and try to get out of this? I don't want to necessarily engage these guys, or at least they should be the one firing the first shot, and we do have very excellent long-range anti-air weapons, and we have this second flight here coming in to support ourselves, so I think that might be a little bit better. Right, yeah, you guys are coming down there, that's okay then. These guys are also, they are definitively up to something. They are on military speed, so we do need to be mindful of what's going on over there. Got further aircraft over here, including an including some sort of early airborne warning from Russia, but not a very current one. We've also got these flankers coming in, so that is a little bit more threatening there, because these guys are definitely fighters, and they tend to be good fighters. And you know, again, with that information, I think it is worthwhile to go ahead and scramble more of our guys over here. Specifically, you know what, let's assign you, I don't know whether that does make any sense, but let's assign you towards that anti-patrol mission as well. And then I do want to launch more of these guys over here. I think it does make sense to launch 2 flights here of 2 aircraft each. Right, yeah, definitively trying to do something over there. Although we don't know what yet. Okay, we are coming in at great speed, that's okay. Our ships, our early airborne warning stuff is coming in as well. These guys are still only going on normal speed, so they might just be patrolling, but we don't know about that. So that is interesting. Man, I can't get over this design here. This is so weird, but it is obviously a very cheap design, so if it was carrying more than these 50 cals, I'd be a little bit more concerned, but apparently it isn't. Right, and over here we've got further patrol boats. We don't know what they are carrying, but again, just 50 cals is not something that I do feel threatened by. Okay, you guys need to come up over here. Come up on... Is that Kuwait? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, we do have actually an airbase over here. Interesting. Single bird. Yeah, and there are some aircrafts over here. Just chantries. No loadout. Can I actually ready or arm you? No, yeah, they're not under our direct control. That's alright. They are considered allies though. Yes, it would be interesting to think about whether in an actual conflict there might be some further assets, specifically maybe F-35s or F-22s, and of course stealth bombers to try to take out their stuff. But you know, this is a scenario where there's no dedicated US attack on Iran yet. These guys here are a little bit concerning. Okay, we've got this one here identified. And again, the Iranians, man, they're just building these small boats, just big missiles on them. So what have you got over there? The C-701. Did you develop that yourself? We don't know. Most importantly, what's your range though? 8 miles. So that is a little bit interesting to see. And we've got a MiG-G. What's a MiG-G? That's... Man, these guys, they have weird stuff. So they got 23mm guns over there, somewhere on there. Potentially over there, I think. Yeah. So these are just anti-air assets. So that might mean that our helicopters here might want to take some distance to them. And the C-14, again, just a small arse boat with a heavy C. Yeah. Very similar designs actually, I think. Right, and we've got another one of these small craft, and one of them is unidentified yet, as of now. Oh, wait a minute, who are you? Okay, you know what? Let's bring you up over there. Let's go on cruise speed. Let's remain on high altitude over here. And then we can bring these guys back, since we do now have a lot of guys that are stationed somewhat close to each other. Let's bring one of these flights that we've just launched from the air group over there as well. And the other one, I guess, this one, we're just gonna park a little bit to the right. Yeah, that I think does make sense. And man, these guys, I mean, this would be considered hostile. Very close at least. I mean, they are so close to our Marines here, which we are trying to bring home safely. So I don't really know what's going on over here. You guys, can you actually go on cruise speed? Let's try to be behind them though. I think I would like that very much. That would put us in a very good position to launch missiles at them should they do anything hostile very quickly. These Tomcats here. Right, there we go. Guess we can... Look at that. That is not friendly. That is not friendly at all. Oh. You need to get out of here. The Hawkeye is of course very ill-equipped to deal with this stuff. Let's go military speed over here. I think I want to be a little bit closer to them. Come on. I dare you to do something hostile. I mean, the Hawkeye would go down if they are launching something. You know what? Let's look at that on the 3D assessment, because you know what? We can. So here we go. What's this? Come on, go away. It's always taking a while. There we go though. So yeah, and let's get over here on, let's say, one of these Tomcats. And you can see just how close they are to that aircraft down there. They are sort of bracketing it as well. Hawkeye seems to be a little bit lower than they are. Both of them? Potentially. There you can see the orange one, and there is... It's right on top of you. It's literally on top of you. Very, very interesting. Let's not get too distracted over there. We've also got the flanker over here, which is coming up over the sea. And a couple of boats that are buzzing around. Okay, I think you are close enough. Let's try to not get killed. So let's go on minimum altitude over here. Hoping that the Su-33s will have some trouble with that. Yeah, but they are buzzing around over there. Yeah, so we have good cover against these guys. But as long as our doctrine is weapons tight, we cannot shoot at these guys. Let's make sure that we always have sort of someone following close by with these guys. So I don't want to have them in a position where they can shoot but we can't. Let's go in cruise speed. Don't want to overtake them either. There we go. Interesting sort of scenario over here. We've also got you with these two Su-33s. Okay, let's bring you up over here as well. And yeah, and you can, you know what, you can stay where you are. That's fine. Well, at least the Hawkeye sort of made it out of there, so let's try to get it away from all of this. What are you guys doing? I really wonder. Okay, let's bring you up a little bit to the north of there, and then these guys might follow up behind that. This is a nerve standoff, I have to say. First 18 minutes of the scenario. Of course, we would expect our aircraft to be performing much better than theirs, but so far everything seems to be fine. These are more Su-33s. So that's two more. I would feel very much more comfortable if we were to launch a couple of more aircraft on our side as well. Let's actually grab these guys and launch another group over here. I mean, this alone over here is so awkward. Such a standoff, and over here as well, of course. Let's keep you sort of in between these two groups. Your principal job is to be over here. And then once these guys launch, we are going to have someone over there. You can see a couple of our guys here are laying anti-submarine warfare stuff, so that's nice to see. Are you trying to boss the... No, you're not. You might be. Interesting. I don't know what they're doing. This is an interesting scenario because it's not an all-out, you know, it's clear everyone is out there to kill you type of scenario. It's a little bit more subtle than that, actually, it seems. But you know what? These guys here, even though they only have machine guns, even though they only have 50 kills, they are coming extremely close to our ships. That's 6 miles. That's not a lot. That's definitely not a lot in distance over there. BRAs, you're doing fine over there. So I think what we would want to do is at least, let's say, launch one of these guys over here. Just a single attack helicopter. I think should be able to deal with these guys very easily. If they were to do something nervious. Right, we've got this flight over here. Let's bring you up over there. That I think is fine. We've already gained a lot of altitude, so that's good. Let's accelerate time here and see what's going on. So, some message. All units of a Whiskey, be advised we have 2 fast movers north of the Tauranga group sprinting south, Angels 20. All units sim air warning red, weapons tight. So, We do not yet have any point to shoot. But I think that does refer to these two guys. Tawanga group, I think, is this one. Are you? Tawanga? Yeah. So, it's these two guys, I think. Don't see anyone else yet. It must be these. But so far, it's weapons tight. So we are not supposed to attack anyone. Are the sensors on these guys on? They are, so that's good, I think. Let's bring you a little bit closer towards the Marines. That would be lovely. And let's get you towards the Marines as well. And then we just form sort of a buzzing. Just... Okay, just how close are you now? You're sort of in between our formation here. This is interesting. Come on. Yeah, you can see it's basically in between our guys. And you can see the attack helicopter over there as well. Interesting. Right, let's go down to speed 2. And I think we're going to play the first half hour here. Oh, stop. What's going on? Why have these guys now considered hostile? Contact change is now hostile. Why? Potentially because they just came too close. I don't know why they are considered hostile, but they are. So, can we get rid of all of that, please? Right. So, there's a big issue here. I don't know whether I like the new system, honestly. Right. So these guys are now considered hostile. All of these ships here are considered hostile. They're just getting too close to us. So, what can we do then? We're going to grab our surface group over here and we can see whether we can engage any of these guys with anything. So, we do have a couple of things. Yeah, we do have the 127mm things from the... So basically the normal guns. We've also got a 50 cal of the very close guys and some Bushmasters, which would be hilarious, I think. Right, so you know what? Let's actually do that. Let's try to allocate, and we are going to go to unit view for that, because, oh, look at that. This guy has shot a couple of things at Iran itself, so that is why it's now considered hostile. Okay, can you engage reversely? You can with your 25mm cannons, so honestly, we are going to do that right away, because you are very close to that. Let's then grab you here and deal with you. And I think how we're going to do that is, of course, we're going to allocate a large number here of these guys on you. And you know what, let's do 40 of those. Bushmaster, well, you know what, let's also strafe him with our 50 cals, because why not, we might as well do so. So that I think is okay. Then you, can you engage this gentleman? You can, so that's fine. Fantastic, actually. So let's try to allocate a good number of ammunitions on you. You cannot do anything. Can you? Oh yeah, you have a 76mm cannon, so you can't do anything against this one, but you can against this one. So yeah, let's do that. And then you can also try to engage against these guys here with a couple of guns. We don't have any rockets, so you know what? I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this helicopter here, and we're also going to send a Hellfire into these guys. And you know what? Actually, let's do 2 because we are very close already. We're going to allocate also a couple of Hydras on you, and then another Hellfire on you. And on you. So because these guys are so close in our engagement range over here, that I think that is well warranted. So let's send you over there, that should be fine. And then we've also got these ships over here. So I would ideally like to deal with these guys a little bit more aggressively because they are a little bit more hostile. So let's try to grab our UE over here and attack these guys here with a good number of, let's call that 19 Hydras on you and 19 Hydras on you. That I think should be alright. So that does deal with these guys, doesn't deal with these guys over here. So we might go back and actually select this group and launch a good number of... Do we want to go for the Harriers? I don't think we want to. Let's actually start here with launching at least three more of the attack helicopters, and I think that should be a very fine choice. Yeah, and you know what? Let's actually also grab another UE. Two. They're a little bit more cheaper. Right. So, that being said, we're at the 31-minute mark. So, with 36 minutes to go, we have our escalation at hand over here. We've got a couple of guys that are very much in our task force, and we did let them come this close, but I think it was well warranted by our engagement rules. So, can I actually get rid of this? This is annoying here. Come on. I really hope that this is going a little bit faster. Right, and let's grab you, because I want to know what you're firing. Is that a 50 cal that we're observing? I don't see anything, so I'm not too sure. We will have to see about that as time goes by. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Do let me know whether you'd like to see this continued, and whether you'd like any changes on the map and stuff. So yeah. I'm not explaining everything in detail, but I think it could be a very fun objective here. So yeah, looking forward to see you guys around. Bye bye.